Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. Things have been kind of crazy out here, but I'm here and this month's bullet journal theme is space. That's right, anything related to it, to infinity and beyond. Here I am adding some constellations. This is for Scorpio and this one's for Aries, for that two very special people in my life. I'm trying to use watercolor again, but please do note that this paper isn't watercolor paper, so it didn't act how I wanted it to. But we gotta move on with what we have. So here I am. You could do the whole cover page on watercolor paper and then transfer the page onto your book, like just stick it. But I just decided to do it this way because I do like the pattern on these dotted journals. It gives off its own character, you know? For the letters itself, I'm using color pencils. You could also use watercolor, but I wanted to stay within the lines for this one, so I used color pencils. You don't have to use these particular colors, but the concept is basically the same. So I have the light and the mid-tone and the dark. The zoomie that took out the dinosaurs. Adding that final touch with that washi tape, the washi tape touch. To be honest, I've never really been that interested in space or the extraterrestrials, but I do believe in zodiacs though. I've been wanting to have that escape for a while, so I just thought of this theme. Not thought of, but I was inspired by Pinterest board. On to the monthly review. February was a very low month for me, so I'm going to try to get back on track while not being so harsh on myself this month. And for the schedule, last month I put an NCT relay cam, and this month it's going to be all about comebacks. We had the legendary Shinies back, and ATEEZ and Icon also just had a comeback, hashtag VI miss you. And Wavy is also having their kickback come out mid-March, so I am hyped! But before I go way deep into the K-pop fandom, I am trying a Dutch door and incorporating some stickers for this one, utilizing my Van Gogh. The theme is space. The stars are in space, so this counts. I have yet to buy brush pens, so I'm just DIYing with my pens and colored pencils for that calligraphy lettering. Sometimes it's gotta be grateful for what you have and work with it, you know? Alright, this is me trying to recreate Starry Night, or at least some of it. So what I did was I dashed in a swirl pattern and then colored things in. So this section is for my mental health and a way for me to focus when things are getting out of control, especially for times that I can get overwhelmed with a lot of things happening. Please do keep in mind I'm not a mental health professional. This is just what I do and put in my bullet journal, and I just wanted to share it with everybody else. So there are 3 sections, and the first one is for things that I can't control. And I put in political instability, what other people say or their opinions about me. You can also put weather, a global pandemic. And moving on to things that I can control. These are the things that to an extent I have control over, like if I actually eat or not, or whether I'm cooking for myself, the amount of time I spend on my phone, the type of materials I consume, the books that I read. The last part is things that I can do. So this is when my brain goes into overload and I would go to this list and do one thing on it. And it has things like read a line, edit a YouTube video, paint a schoolism workout, journal. Kind of low effort things that I can do but will get my mind off the overdrive mode. Back to my goal setting mode. These are the targets I would like to achieve this month, and they're very specific and split into different categories. It's got things like, post 2 videos on YouTube, finish the watercolor workout on Schoolism, have 3 Instagram posts, read 1 book, finish 2 comic chapters, in its own categories, of course. So where I am right now, we have scheduled internet cuts, and when I'm offline, I just got reminded of this baseball game I used to play as a child. I know, I'm old. And then there was this also like aquarium game. But anyways, this baseball game, it was so fun. Like, you would get extra balls or, try to save with these little 2, I guess, flippers in the bottom. My playlist of the month, some came out a while ago, but it's still stuck in my head. Next up is habits. For the fonts, I'm still experimenting with the pens and color pencils. Lettering and graphic design is one of my biggest weakness, which I'm trying to hopefully improve by the end of this year. The theme is the phases of the moon. It's in space, so it relates to the overall theme. You could use a color pen or just a color pencil. This month I'm going to try these little dots and then I'll color them in for every day I do. And I mean, the numbers I feel like don't really matter for me because I know where each the dates are. My little half moons for things that I do less, like change my bed sheets or wash my hair. I feel like I'm tracking less and less things each month, but habit stacking is hard, yo, especially if they're new. Drawing that dark side of the moon or the bright side, you can pick. I used a color pencil because if I used a touch marker, it will leak to the other page. It's always nice to add another color, just to make it a little pop. A little quote from our famous poet Carl Sandburg. I'm still experimenting fonts with my color pens, and hopefully I have enough options in my arsenal to make a video about it later on. Again, I'm using watercolor on a paper that's not meant for watercolor, so please bear that in mind. I messed up the colorings too, so the colors got a little muddy too. But if you use bright colors like pink, I think it should be fine, as long as the values work. I obviously didn't. This is my entertainment section with songs, podcasts I'm listening to, movies, shows, and animes I'm watching. Putting a ring on it because I like it. And that's how you know if someone's been inside for too long. Adding a little bit of spark as a final touch. And of course, we can't talk about space without the aliens. This is a direct translation of a lyric from Stray Kids' Han's song named Alien. I'm basically in love with that song and the humans who produced it and the adorable Ji-sung who sang it. Even before I read the lyrics, like the Korean translations, I was really resonating with it, and then I read the translations and it was just like... And of course, you can't talk about aliens without talking about our favorite alien, at least my favorite, Grr. That whole show I watched as an adult and it was just... Anyways, if you Google Grr, this is the first photo that came up. I first, of course, did the sketch and then the line art and colored it in. For this planet, I'm trying with line art and color pencils. When you're coloring it in, make sure you leave negative space so that it'll create a pattern. You can use that space to put another color in or leave it as white, whatever you see fit. The Urkin language from Invader Zim. Alright, so I don't know if y'all watched this as a kid, but I watched all of the Power Rangers, the franchise, as a kid. So this one is inspired by Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Anyways, that theme song has been stuck in my head. Along with the Doom song by Gert and Alien by Han. Electromagnetic forces, I think. I don't know. The word of the month is onwards. Because I believe that despite our circumstances, we have to march onwards. I just wanted to draw horns for no particular reason, actually. And now for the final reveal.